Steve, are you ready? I think Steve is ready. Nowhere near as enthusiastic as this one is. T-Rex is the... Oh, almost got 4 jumps out of him, but we don't want to ruin the rhythm. Coming out into a gray Wednesdays. Tuesdays are good if you can get them, Tim. August 5th, 2025. 67 degrees, and we have a push of air coming down from the northeast. A new, refreshing summer polar air mass coming into New England. It is refreshing if I close my eyes, but I open my eyes, and it's not that pretty. Not only do we have smoke from the fires, we also have clouds and a bit of a boundary. It's what we call a backdoor cold front. When these high-pressure systems go across eastern Canada, and then the cooler air kind of eases down from the north and the east, and that's what's happening this morning. We also have a couple members of the heron family in the foreground. Is that a yellow bill or a black bill? That is a great egret and a great blue heron, both members of the heron family. I hope I got that right. It's not a snowy, is it? Everyone here knows that I have troubles with identification sometimes. Steve, are you coming out? Oh, Steve sees something. You going to charge through that maze I built to prevent you from going through that maze so I can get you to go around? We might have a MIT sighting here. Oh, I'm too zoomed in. Yeah, so the reason we say Tuesdays are good if you can get them, because pretty much all year long, the best weather of the week has been on a Tuesday. Weather has rhythms. And we had all those Thursday, Friday storms and weekend. I always go back to how it was during ski season. The weekends were windy and cold, and then it would still be cold on a Monday, but the sun would come back, and then Tuesday would be calm with a warming trend beginning, and then would repeat the pattern. Wednesday would warm up, and then we get these Thursday, Friday fronts. Well, we're doing a little different this week. There's been a couple, actually, in the last 3 weeks where we've had a Tuesday front. But like I said, this is a backdoor front, and that's not the kind that causes a lot of problems. It just kind of cools off Maine and Massachusetts, and there's less smoky air coming into Maine. Should we just go right to the smoke? Let's look at the satellite imagery, and it has a lot on here. You have clouds and smoke over New England, so it's hard to distinguish the smoke, but the smoke is pretty much over the clear sky there in northern Maine and in the waters east of New England. There are clouds over most of New England. And what really sticks out also here is tiny tropical storm Dexter racing away from the United States with 40-mile-an-hour sustained winds, about to go post-tropical. So Dexter, pretty much not an issue, but interesting how it formed on the front that went through here last week. And we may have another one forming on the front this week. The front doesn't look like much there over New England. It's a 1031 high over Ontario and Quebec that's pushing down into eastern New England. Western New England, not so much. And this front is going to kind of just stall here and fall apart. And so our old front from last week is still stalled well to the southeast of us. Here it is on a different analysis. And that front may spawn another tropical system. And we've got a couple of other places where we may have tropical development also. Let's see, you got Dexter moving away. I got that system possibly developing off the southeastern United States. Oh, and there's one other wave. A wave coming off Africa stands a pretty good chance now of becoming a tropical cyclone. And that would be a pure tropical cyclone, but heading into the central of the Atlantic. So nothing aimed at the United States. Everything would be moving away from the United States. And the next names are E and F. Erin and Fernan. Not just a simple Aaron and Fernan. No. Aaron and Fernan. The E and the F storms may be forming. T-Rex, mind if I have a seat here? With this little bit of a boundary and the cooler air coming in, here's the regional roundup, by the way. Regional roundup shows a temperature of 48 Brownville, Maine, 49 in Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, and then you have 60s in Boston. The dew points are coming down in parts of eastern New England, but note the dew point is still, or has come up to and will stay near 65 to 70 on the Connecticut coast. And I thought it was too good to be true with those dew point readings on Nantucket only in the 50s. Now I know the dew point-ometer is wrong on Nantucket. The dew point is not 48 this morning. Is it? It can't be. It can't be. That would be almost a record low dew point for this time of year. on Nantucket, even though there is cooler and more refreshing air coming in. T-Rex, can you pose with the two heron? Yeah. Maybe this will be the cover shot for the YouTube video. T-Rex, if you can look at me one more time. T-Rex. Perfect. Yeah, that's going to be the cover shot. All right. So any verification on a 48-degree dew point there on Nantucket? Links? Do you report very dry air? The National Advisories, Watches, and Warnings. The extreme heat now is in the desert southwest where there are new fires burning in California, Nevada, New Mexico, and fire danger there. So the purple would be the heat and the red would be the fire danger. So fires are erupting in the southwestern United States. So that's going to also add smoke to the atmosphere. Flood watch continues in Georgia. Heat advisory in South Florida. South Florida not sharing in the nice, drier, cooler air that's come down most of the eastern United States. And you have those sort of jagged-looking air alert advisories in the Northeast. It's been dropped for Maine and Massachusetts. And a weather watcher that I've known for decades, Rick Worma, Sutton, New Hampshire, actually has a gauge that measures the air quality. What's it called? Purple Zen on your webpage. Very busy webpage, Rick. Went there and checked it out. And anyhow, the air quality index pushing off the charts. I would say poor air quality. I'm not sure what those numbers mean, but that line is way up at the top of the graphic. So we have pretty dirty air. That's one of those oxymorons, right? Pretty dirty. Can't even see Boston this morning. 11 miles away. So yeah, we have pretty much the smokiest air we've had all season right here, right now. So I guess the government thinks that the smoke is going to thin out a bit today. So let's look at the smoke forecast. And I'm going to show you the really wide version of the smoke forecast. And you get the sort of upper level low circulating the smoke with the fires erupting there in the southwestern United States. But doesn't it look like an avalanche of smoke west of Hudson Bay, north central Canada, up to the Arctic Circle? Looks like a breaking wave of smoke up there, doesn't it? So we had some cleaner air coming at northern New England. Northern Maine is out of the smoke now. And you've got just this ball of smoke across most of Canada. And the plume coming at us from the north we'll get here in a couple of days. And the plume that's been coming at us from the west and the north the last couple of days is what we still have here. So the smoke may thin out, but then it's going to be renewed. All right, we've got a pedestrian on the beach, and that caused the bird to take off toward wherever. Next meal is found. We break for birds. Yeah, I just heard a truck. In the front yard, we have a new sidewalk going up. In the backyard, we've got, yeah, more than a sidewalk, a long walk under construction. All right. How about a weather forecast? Come over and say hello to Steve. And did some more tomato work yesterday, but nowhere near as much as I wanted. Oh, there's dew here. So we got down to the dew point last night. Heavy dew. Look at that. Yeah, Steve, I'll dry you off a spot. So we had a temperature in the dew point in the 60s, but now the dew point's coming down again. And I'm going to do the weather a little different this time. I always show that meteograph, but there's so much information on that meteograph. I love it and I imbibe it, but it's kind of complicated. So I'm going to show you a simpler form, also from the weather.us website. You can get this for free. I pay a little, so I don't have the ads, and it's my friend Jörg Kachelman in Switzerland that developed it. And the simple form, Boston 14-day forecast, the red shaded area, the potential high temperatures. You can see a wave of increasing warmth and heat with temperature getting to 90 on, was it Sunday or Monday? And the wave continues up, but those red numbers, the numbers and the red line indicating the high temperature, that's called the operational. Now, the whole red shaded area itself is called sort of the ensemble range. So high temperature anywhere in that range. And you can see that the operational number is pretty close to the high point on the wave there on Sunday, but the wave continues flat. So I think we're going to get a heat wave coming into New England. Remember, this is for Boston, but we're going to still have an onshore flow for a couple of days. And so I can't see the onshore flow because this is a simpler form. You can't see the arrows. And then the blue numbers are the low temperatures. Now, the blue numbers also represent probably about where the dew point is going to be. So you can almost read the low temperature as the dew point number. So you can see the dew points are going to come back up out of the 50s into the 60s going forward, and it is going to turn more humid in most of New England. And it shows the warm wave kind of continuing into late next week, but the red number or the red line with the numbers kind of coming down a little. I think that we're going to watch those numbers and the red shaded area continue to get wider and taller and higher. And I think we are getting a heat wave in New England, probably beginning about Sunday. And I base that on those thickness numbers. I always talk about those 570 and 576 numbers coming back at New England. They have done a better job with the long-range temperature forecasts than the actual numbers you see on a 10-day forecast when you watch on TV or whatever, or even here in our meteographs. So let's go to the operational. Oh, I wanted to show you the potential QPF, though. There are some showers and thunderstorms where the warm air remains in western New England, so the QPF from the NAM shows where and when it might rain, and these will be very small thunderstorms. And yesterday I forgot to check the data, but I think there were a couple of thunderstorms in Maine, and that would be more New Hampshire and Vermont, sort of on the southwest side of this increasing high pressure that's coming into southeastern Canada and over New England over the next day, and the warm air that's resisting in western New England, resulting in these scattered downpours from northern New Hampshire through Vermont into western Massachusetts and Connecticut. There are a few spots that could pick up a ½ inch or more of rain from a thunderstorm each today. We called it last week, I was calling it diurnal thunderstorms possible on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we don't have a Thursday front. This is just so different. But this number does go out to 2 p.m. Thursday, sorry. And there's no precipitation coming on there on Thursday. We're going to have a system to our south that we're going to have to watch at that time, though. And now let's go to the operational Euro output using the graphic form. And it shows you where the H's and the L's are. And then if you get good at reading the isobars, the black lines, you can tell where the fronts are. The fronts are boundaries that create weather. And then the red numbers are the thicknesses. We don't see the 540 anywhere on the map. That would be blue and cold enough for snow. So that does not show up here at all. So here it goes in motion. Dexter's exiting on the right. And you have a new potential tropical system developing. It looks like just kind of stagnant, wobbling around, doesn't know where to form off South Carolina. That's at the very bottom of the map. And our high pressure system is coming in here. And then you have the heat rebounding out of the central United States. And the storm track is going to be both to our south with a stationary front down there, and also a new warmer front developing over Canada, but staying to our north. That leaves us with high pressure and nice weather. Thursday right there, it tries to come north a little bit, but then falls apart. And then you see renewed warm air advection here without any major thunderstorms or anything on Saturday and Sunday. The 570 and the 576 thickness are advecting from the southwest, so we're going to gradually lose that onshore flow here, even in eastern New England by the weekend. So heat wave looks likely now for Sunday and Monday, Tuesday, and then the front does start look like we're going to get a front coming back in here next Wednesday or so, with anything from the tropics completely missing us. And then we go out to 234 hours. That is day 9, and because this is the operational model that was output last night, we call it the day 10. And we started with yesterday, and day 1 would be today. Anyhow, day 10 is now Thursday, August, is that 14 or 15? Can't remember, but it's next Thursday. And it shows a front over us, so the Thursday fronts may return next week with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. And you still see the 576 there, so that means it could be still 90 to 96. So I'd say count on a heat wave for next week. I like that we have slow weather right now. T-Rex, you're a little tied around this pole. There's a rhyme and a reason. There's sonotubes buried down there for a potential fence that everybody, the town, wants us to have a fence because they're afraid that someone might just step right off the wall. Who would do that? TK, Steve. And more from yesterday. We had action in front of the house with a new berm preventing flooding at our house, hopefully, with the next tropical downpour we get. And also in the backyard, big dig with Luciano at the wheel of his excavator right down there. He left it parked right there. He said, "The keys are in it, Tim. Why don't you continue my job?" And we'll try to talk about what he was doing, and we'll take it to sunset here yesterday where I tried to get some work done in the garden, but I had lots of social meetings yesterday, catching up with a lot of the neighbors. And every time you go out to do something and you get to talk to a neighbor that's 20 minutes with this neighbor, 20 minutes with that neighbor, 20 minutes with the other neighbor, and next thing you know, the sun goes down and you did half of what you wanted to do. But you get a lot of love, though, and we all get along in this neighborhood, so that's really nice. There are the glories, and here's the and more from our Back to Work Monday. Hope you have a very nice Tuesday. Is good if you can get them. Talk to you, well, here and more. long needed sidewalk repair underway and more on this Monday morning, August 4th. So they dug up the old sidewalk, which was dented by the construction last winter. And they're going to put in a berm and then come back in a couple days and put in the rest of the sidewalk. Are you an old-fashioned, or you just play one on TV? You mind if I set up a recording studio here? Jerry, you looking for work? You want to help him? That's my word. Oh, it's so funny. Your legs are in the time lapse. Oh, that's good. They're good. They're in good shape. Hannabury and Sons Asphalt Paving, 781-335-8703. USDOT 3452-764. I like it. It's taller than the other berms. Keep the water going down the drain. Thank you guys. Meantime, in the backyard, still glassy water. Sailors are all kind of stuck together right there. Where's Steve? Speaking of stuck, there's his line. There he is. You ready to go in? Yeah. You're all wrapped around that post. Sorry. I was busy watching our new sidewalk go in. Just as long as you give me a little rub, I'll be okay. Imagine trying to sail. Of course. It's one of the lessons on days with no wind. All right, Steve, up the stairs. All right, we're going in.
So,
Thanks, Sterling. Thanks for the video, but it's all grainy.
Down over there.
It didn't come through as clean as it usually does.
See it rolling in right now.
So, I don't think we're gonna use it as much as I would love to see T-Rex in the cesspool.
Pretty nice. T-Rex enjoying the cesspools or tide pools, we want to call it.
Yeah, it's just a little too grainy.
But yeah,
We always appreciate it though. Lunchtime. It's catnap time. It's little excavator coming over the groin time onto our side of the inland side of the concourse. Gonna continue adding dirt. Yep, I live in a construction zone. Look at that. It almost warrants a time lapse, but I'm almost time lapsed out. I'm sure we'll have more opportunities this week. I'll speed this one up a little. Oh wow, took that pin right out. We gotta go get a closer look. Air's still coming from the north-northeast. Wow, it's a bit of a surprise. Oh, we've got a great egret. Right. Right. That is precision. So they're taking out the old wall, or laying it down, I guess. Looks like loose moss, I believe. 3 o'clock. Lou's just got out of the excavator a second ago. So we left the planking over the top of that cistern there. Buried some more drainage hose, and they're going along. They're about to shore up this side of the concourse with other drainage and boulders. Concrete from last week is drying right there. And the smoke is still quite thick in the sky, and our air is still coming from the northeast. Not pretty, but pleasant. T-Rex, do you concur? Yes, T-Rex concurs. What are you doing? Yes, I concur. Let me help you with this landscaping. Yeah, that feel good. Doing a pretty good job of not being in a hurry on a Monday too. And I might not get a copyright infringement for rocking us, but sailboat in sun sparkle and a massive jet. Pretty quiet for the size of it. My viewers know what kind of jet it is, but I don't, because I can only know so many things in life. That's why I leave it up to the rest of the people to let me know what else is the real rest of the story.
He made his noise taking off.
6:45, tiny little orange disc birds. And the first not green tomato, byproduct of some pruning from about 3 weeks ago. Trying not to waste anything. So I'm gonna cut this into 7 pieces and have it for dinner. Object and lens a lot smaller than they appear. Except for the sun, it's a lot bigger than it appears. Got Boston on the radio. I don't know if you can hear it, hopefully not too loud. I did not get a copyright infringement on Chicago the other day. Well, I did, but they shared the revenue, so that's cool. Why not? They get $1, I get $1. And you get a time lapse now of the entire day from Cape Cod first. Is the sky any more blue on Cape Cod than it was in Weymouth? Don't know, because I don't watch these time lapses until I'm editing. And that sound of waves. People intrigued by whatever's in the water down there. Who can blame them? The tide is high. Well, coming in, will be high in a little while. And the Weymouth time lapse. Not a cloud in the sky today. Mondays and Tuesdays are good if you can get them. Hey, laughing gull. Not sure I've seen one of those here before. They come north as the earth gets warmer. And the barge with 2 tugs going through the sun sparkle. There in our back to work Monday. A lot of volunteer work today. Video being sped up. The animals are all inside. Air conditioner is not on. I think it's probably about 80 degrees out and 80 degrees in. There's no cooler air coming at us. It may bring less smoky air. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.